All right. So technology advantages and disadvantages. Let's see what lists you guys came up with. Saki, advantages.
Extend our life expectancy because of improvement of medical equipment.
Thank you very much. So technology has helped extend our life expectancy, has lengthened our lives. Do you guys agree or disagree?
Agree.
So life expectancy has raised our life expectancy. That was great. Thanks to, so technology has raised our life expectancy, has yeah, so we live longer now, thanks to technology. We live longer, thanks to advances in medical world, and in medicine, in medical equipment, advances made in medical equipment. Okay, that was a good one. What else? Let's go around like one by one. Everybody would mention one advantage, and then I'll come back whenever we're done with the ideas of advantages. We'll go to disadvantages.
You can get connected easily, anytime, anywhere, thanks to cell phone.
So cell phone. So easy and instant or immediate telecommunication. Yeah, communication access. Yes? Easy, instant, and immediate telecommunication access. There's access to friends and relatives and whoever. Yes? Okay. Some adjustment. This is on-scene adjustment, which is good. Makes it all more natural. So easy, immediate, and instant telecommunication access. So basically, telecommunication. Technology has made telecommunication possible. What is tele? Like we have television. Tele means far. And you and your smoothie. So communication is communication. So we can now, and telecommunication is not just phones, right? Cell phones. But we can use our cell phones. The cell phones are no longer used only for audio communication or for telephoning, right? Now smartphones are used for, basically smartphones are portable computers. Yes? Do we agree? Portable computers. You can call them portable computers, you can call them pocket computers. You can call them, you know, palm tops? Palm tops? Because we have laptops and palm tops. A palm top is like a laptop you put on your laps, but a palm top is in the palm of your hand. We have PDA. They are PDAs. Personal digital assistant. So the PDAs are personal digital assistants. Before mobile phones, I wonder if you remember, the smallest computers we had and people would carry them were called personal organizers. They had calendars and simple notes. This was before cell phones became equipped with all these things. There were people would carry PDAs, personal digital assistants. You could take notes, and they had calculators. For the record, calculators. They would help with simple calculation. You could take notes and write notes. There was a calendar, a digital calendar. There were things like that. But all those things were just a few apps right now that we carry very easily in our cell phones. And we're taking technology for granted sometimes, right? Okay. Sometimes our lives are so intertwined with technology. Our life, I can say our lives, but is so, I can say tremendously, I can say inextricably, beautiful, inextricably, the word Chris used and shocked me. Yes? Intertwined with technology. Okay, I want you to memorize this sentence. Our lives, instead of saying life, I would say our lives are, I can still say how life is, it depends on how I look at it, are, instead of so, I would say tremendously or inextricably intertwined with technology. What is intertwined? It means interconnected. Interconnected. If two things are twined, it's like two things, like a rope. You put two strings together and you intertwine them. So our life and technology is inextricably, means you cannot separate them. Inseparably. Inseparably. Inseparable. So we have the words inseparable and inseparably. Now, is technology separable from our world today? Or is it an inseparable reality in our lives? That we simply cannot live without? Could you imagine life without technology? Back into the caves? It's hard to imagine a life without technology, right? A few hours of power outage simply would teach us a big lesson. And sometimes it reminds us of the addiction. Now sometimes we think, oh, we're so addicted to technology that we cannot live without it. So it's an inseparable component of our lives. An inseparable component, part of our lives. So our life is inextricably intertwined with technology. If you write this sentence in an IELTS essay or TOEFL essay, wow. The examiner will give you 0 because he will know that you have memorized the sentence from somewhere and put it in your test, in case the rest of your writing cannot catch up. Can you say it? So, our lives, or I will tell you why. Look, you can also say our life is, but basically our life is better in this case. Our life is, because you're talking about our collective life. We're not talking about every individual. I'm talking about the whole life, our life as the human society. That's why I say life, not lives. There was an accident, 5 lives were lost. It means 5 people died. 5 lives were lost. But I can say our life has been tremendously, inextricably affected. Not affected, inextricably affected, no. Our life has been tremendously affected by technology. I can say our life because as humans, we have a life. We have a unified existence. I'm talking about human life. Now, if I say our lives, I'm talking about individual. Like when I say 5 lives were lost in the accident, 5 people died. That's different. So here I can say our life. This is a major thing in writing because usually students don't know, is it life or is it lives? Should I write lives? Should I write lives every time I'm saying our and it's plural? No, not necessarily. So if I'm looking at life as a unit, that's life. But if I'm looking at life as life of individual people, so more than just one life, then it's lives. So our life is inextricably intertwined with, interconnected with, interrelated with, correlated, interrelated, right? With technology. It is so hard to separate the two, to extricate the two. So this bond, this connection, this relation is inseparable, not separable. One thing I want you to work on when writing sentences is using adverbs, and we will look at this, using adverbs to modify verbs. Our lives are inextricably, adverb, connected with each other. So here I should say our lives, because I'm saying my life and your life, and his life and her life. Our lives are inextricably connected to each other, inseparably. Inextricable means inseparable. You cannot separate it. If two things are inextricably intertwined, they're so intertwined that you cannot separate. So with technology. Now, so thank you for the smartphones. This was very important. The telecommunication, thanks to cell phones, personal computers, laptops, palm tops, personal digital assistants, has been made very easy, this sort of communication. Tui? Another. Come on, you have a list.
Is time consuming, so it increase productivity, working efficiency.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Increased productivity and working efficiency.
Good. Now I got it. So it has increased, very good, productivity and efficiency. Technology has increased efficiency and productivity. Very good. We have become more efficient. And productive. So, as a result, we're more productive now and more efficient. What is efficient? Remember fuel efficient cars?
When you use few energy to get a process running very good. For example, when you can use very few fuel to get a heavy car on taking up speed.
So saving fuel, right? So it's used in a smart way,
Yeah.
effective way.
Yeah.
So, efficient, if a gadget, if a machine is more efficient, it uses its resources in a smarter and let's say more, I don't want to use the word efficient way.
Effective.
Effective and efficient are different. So, yes, they are different. Something could be efficient, something could be effective, but not very efficient. A car that takes you here and there, even a gas guzzler, is very effective, but not very efficient. It doesn't have a smart use of energy. It doesn't save on gas. So you should be, we don't say few energy because energy is not countable, right? You can say limited energy. You can say scan. So you should be able to use less resources, more and better productivity and output. So, for example, those who argue for Mac computers against Windows computers, they argue that Mac computers, they are more efficient when it comes to using the resources that they have. So, they would argue that. And of course the Windows guys would say, in your dreams, that's not the case. Now, so technology has made us more efficient. We save more time, we save more energy, and we have become more productive. Now a machine can work more efficiently sometimes than men do. Less margin of error, smaller margin of error. No margin of error?
No.
Margin of error. A machine has a smaller margin of error, chance for making mistakes. For example, margin of error of plus minus 3%. Whereas a human margin of error, it's okay, it goes under your feet. Human margin of error could be more. Humans get drunk sometimes, they're sleepy, they yawn, they've had good or bad food, they've had too much food, little food, sushi, whatever. Some days they've had bad hair days. But machines are not like that usually. So, yeah. Human beings have the mood swings, menstruation cycles, so on and so forth. Machines don't have that kind of thing. True? Okay, that means true. Yeah. So, that's why machines have made our life more efficient. But there's a downside to it. What's the downside? We don't want to talk about the downside right now. It's just, I talked about machines making things more efficient. We need less manpower. Less manpower, right?
Time saving.
Less manpower, less manual labor. Manual labor. But less manual labor means something. It means more unemployment. Yeah. What people used to do now, robots are doing what people used to do.
No, because you have to
Well, that's good. You have to operate the machine?
fix, you have to make.
Yeah, but remember, if you go to, if you right now go to Detroit, you will see this.
Yeah.
Because one machine has replaced 100 people. Because robots are doing the job in auto, for example, factories, not people. Yes, okay, you have one person sitting at a computer, you know, that is pushing buttons and controlling the robots. But it's the robots that are working instead of men.
You can also say that it has simply only changed the way of the jobs itself. The jobs themselves, they have changed. For example, you get by rationalization and by the machines taking over those jobs, you only can get rid of those jobs in which you don't need to be a skilled worker.
Okay,
So
most people in a society, arguably, most of the workforce is at the bottom of the pyramid of work.
Yeah.
So, and that's where most of the problem is. Usually the more skilled people are, the less problem when it comes to employment. The biggest chunk of the problem is with the biggest chunk of the population, the workforce, which is at the bottom of the work, at the skill set, subset actually. And that would be the most people losing their jobs. So, yes, this is, we would say also another thing that you can use in your writing or speaking. Unemployment is, many people view unemployment as the direct byproduct, you know, as the byproduct of technology, as an inevitable. What is inevitable?
Unavoidable.
As an inevitable byproduct of technology, or as an inevitable technological byproduct. Inevitable, inevitable, unavoidable, huh? Inevitable, unavoidable. Inevitable, unavoidable. A very good word. Inevitable byproduct. What's a byproduct?
Something that is produced on the side of the actual product, something that is inseparably
Connected?
yeah.
Product.
Yeah. Byproduct.
And where's your B and P?
Thank you very much. Byproduct. Product.
By.
Byproduct.
Byproduct.
Oh, yeah, it's just basically perfect. How could that happen? Anything could happen with Ray.
When you don't sleep.
Yeah, true. So byproduct. Does technology have other inevitable and natural byproducts? So, do you know what a byproduct is now? A product that you can just explain. I want to look at the word byproduct.
Like when you produce something, you only want to have this one product you are aiming to produce, but the byproduct or the side product is always this that
So,
is always produced on the side.
exactly. So, look, a secondary result, unintended but inevitably produced. Inevitably produced in doing or producing something. He saw poverty as the byproduct of colonial prosperity. Okay. Inevitably produced a product that is not intended but is a product that is not intended but is inevitably produced while producing something else. While producing as a result of something else. So, inevitably produced. This is good. Inevitably. Inevitably means unavoidably. If you drive without brakes, accident will be inevitable, unavoidable. You can't avoid it. You will have an accident. Is that true? Accident will be an inevitability. It would be inevitable. You will inevitably have an accident. Get an accident. Have an accident. True? If you drive without brakes, your car doesn't have brakes, nothing happens. Accidents will be inevitable. Say inevitable.
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 Yeah. Please don't look, but I don't trust the numbers. This is really doing temperatures crazy, especially after lunch.
Inevitable.
I think people can sleep very easily.
Yeah.
Inevitable.
Inevitable.
Inevitable. Inevitable.
Inevitable means unavoidable. Unavoidable. Unavoidable is easy, right? Something you cannot avoid is unavoidable. So, we would say poverty is the byproduct of what? Government policies, maybe. Yes? You want to produce oil. Yes? You need crude oil. You bring crude oil into a refinery. You know refinery? So, this is crude oil. And we're talking about technology, so it's kind of related. So crude oil, which is black, petroleum. Yeah? Petroleum. And comes to a refinery. You want to produce gasoline for cars. But in the meantime, you will produce a lot of things. A lot of things come out of it. But your main product, your target product, is gasoline. But automatically and inevitably, you can't avoid, other products will come. So you can use this in your writings a lot. For example, air pollution is a byproduct of The manufacturing industry. The manufacturing industry does not deliberately want to pollute our airs and waters and kill everybody. Is that true? The manufacturing industry, the factories, don't want to kill us. Ah, we're going to kill some people.
No.
It's not like that. But all the greenhouse gases that we get, the CO2, the carbon dioxide, and all the poisonous gases, they are the byproducts of factory operations, the manufacturing industry, the fossil fuel industry. You know fossil fuel?
Yeah.
So these are, the air pollution is a byproduct itself, byproduct. Because people, why byproduct? Because it's not the product, it's not the main product. The product was not, the minute I ended up with this, I did not have it in mind that, oh, I'm going to make some carbon dioxide and kill some people with that. I wanted to do something else, right? I need fuel to run my factory. What kind of fuel? Fossil fuel. I want to make cars. But cars, they have lots of adverse byproducts. Namely, or including, let's say, CO2 and poisonous gases, carbon dioxide, so on. So we know the product. So, thank you. What was it? Productivity and efficiency. Okay, so it's good to know that technology not only has raised life expectancy and has helped us with easier access to communication and telecommunication, has made communication and telecommunication easier and more accessible. Yes? Easier and more what? Accessible. And more accessible. So far, and then has made us more efficient and productive.
But when we combine what they said, I mean, she said that technology would improve our way of communication, and she said that it will reflect in a more efficient way of producing goods. We may say that it all in all also pushes the globalization, because it eases the communication with countries all over the world, and therefore also elevates our living standards.
So has made globalization possible, right?
Yeah.
Has technology has made globalization possible. So thanks to technology, we're now living in a globalized world. Now, globalization is one of those globalization is a highly, what?
Controversial?
Controversial or contentious phenomenon. It's more or less a 20th century phenomenon, and then it went on for. So phenomena would be plural. phenomenon would be singular. Phenomenon, phenomena. Means like thing, a happening. So globalization, for instance, is globalization itself was made possible, has made something possible. You can say also globalization was made possible. Globalization was made possible, by what? Technological advances. Technological advances in communication and telecommunication industry. The computers made everything possible. Banking transactions. Yes? So we have this whole online transactions. Banking. Online banking transactions. We have the SWIFT, which is the interbank. Technological advances have made shipping, the shipping industry, not just ships, but shipping and transportation, right? Transportation. Shipping and transportation. So the transportation of goods and services from one country to another has been made easier. So as a result of this, corporations could outsource jobs. To outsource jobs. We have export and import has become easier. Trade has become easier. Thanks to technology and transportation, trade has become easier. It has become easier to transport goods from one country to another by air, sea, and land. And now, of course, there's a fourth dimension, the cyber world. You don't pick up like thousands of papers with information on it, just, transferring them from one country. You sit down and chirp, and it's there. So, in ways, it has changed our world drastically. Technology has drastically, I want you to use the word drastically, the adverb, changed the way we live. Instead of saying our lives, you can say the way we live. The way we live. The way we live. So Saki say technology has drastically changed the way we live.
Technology has this
Has drastically
drastically change the way we live.
Changed the way we live.
Change the way we live.
So technology has drastically changed the way we live.
Technology has drastically changed the way we live.
Say drastically.
Drastically.
Drastically, no. Drastically.
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 Drastically, no. Drastically.
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 There is a thing between your D and R, it's like drastically, no. It's drastically
Drastically.
better. But you have to work for it. Durano.
Drastically.
Okay. We have to work on it. So technology has drastically There's a drastic change, has drastically changed. Has drastically changed. If you say drastically changed something, something has drastically changed something. Her life was drastically changed when she met her boyfriend. He's completely, very deeply. Yes, is that true?
Yeah.
Of course. A drastic change. A drastic change. Now, a drastic change means a huge change, a big change. Did you get the Japanese word for it? What is it? Yeah? In Japanese, it's just like yes, found the Japanese word for it. Okay, say drastically.
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 Drastically, no. Drastically.
Drastically.
Why? Say great.
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 No, you say great. No. We need to work on this. You have this something R problem. Anything like B, G, whatever that gets to R. It's great, not great. Drastically, not drastically. We'll work on this. Don't worry. Yes. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. We'll work on this. So, I want you to use this. There's a drastic change. There's a something drastically changes something else. Use this. You should use this in your sentences. So technology has drastically affected our lives. Technology has drastically changed our lives. Tremendously. I want you to use these words. Has tremendously changed the way we live. Technology, so a drastic or a tremendous change. Tremendous change. So, tremendous, drastic. Our lives have been drastically or tremendously affected by technology. Because it has been off. Thank you, guys. I don't understand. This sabotage, sabotage usually happens during the break. And people come and sabotage things. I'm like changing this, but nothing is happening in the room.
Yeah, for some reason it's George every morning coming into this room and changing something at the temp.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, George.
Now during the break, somebody sabotages. I don't know.
Yes, George.
Sabotage. It's terrorism.
Like suffering.
Yeah. Sabotage. And stupid me, I should have looked at this thing because usually sabotage happens at this level. So to make up for it, I'll make everybody freeze in the building. So.
This is how they do in Guantanamo. They set the temperature to 6 degrees so that nobody can fall asleep uncomfortably.
That's called sleep deprivation, no sleeping. Now,
Sabotage.
yeah, so suddenly sabotage this. Now, I'm sure it will be better. Yeah, because certain things that should happen when the temperature goes really up don't happen, so basically at least live in a livable temperature. Nothing happens, at least let's not die of... oh, I can feel it now. Something's happening. So
Drastic change in temperature.
yeah.
No.
Oh.
Oh, good.
All right. So, but first let's go 22, and then when this becomes a little cold, and then we'll get back. So, guys, okay, globalization. Now, we're not talking about the disadvantages yet, but globalization, basically, a lot of people are for it, and a lot of people are against it. It has made trade easier between countries. It has lifted tariffs. To lift tariffs. to lift restrictions, trade restrictions. Countries have lifted trade restrictions, right? Such as high tariffs. What's tariffs?
Tax.
The tax you pay when you are trading, when you buy and sell things, export and import. Yeah, it's one R. Double F.
Tariffs.
So countries have lifted trade restrictions. You know, what are trade restrictions? The number one trade restriction is tariffs. Because when you tax products coming from a different country to your country, it's the biggest obstacle, right? The biggest barricade. Obstacle, huh? Trade barriers. It's a great trade barrier, right?
When you lift something, do you rather make it more intense, or do you diminish it when you lift it? Like when you're saying countries have lifted trade restrictions.
Oh, they've taken them off, so no more trade restrictions.
okay.
They have,
So
yes.
they're
When
less-
you lift an embargo, there's an embargo against a country or sanctions against a country, you lift the embargo, it's just you abolish that you. So we have, so countries have lifted trade restrictions, such as high tariffs. So globalization has happened as a result of technology. Technology, we can see technology in shipping, transportation, in the communication networks, in the banking system. All in all, this has helped with globalization. Now globalization has a lot of drawbacks, and there are a lot of cons and pros regarding the advantages and disadvantages. But regardless, globalization has happened as a result of technology. So what, Javi?
The technology can help and support countries which are less developed. For example, methods to clean water or
Some technological advances are vital. We are now vital that we can't live without, such as vital. Okay, what is vital?
like
Vital.
Viral.
You need it. VIRAL.
Bible.
Vital.
like
What's vital? Vital.
Vital.
Like such as what? Technological advances. Such as what? Vital means they are necessary for life, right?
water, food.
For life. For example, in the healthcare industry, healthcare, technological advances in healthcare, such as vaccination. Is it not vital? A lot of diseases killed people before, that now thanks to the vaccines, people survive.
Yeah. Okay.
There are so many life-threatening diseases that are now simply prevented thanks to the existence of vaccination and immunization. So vaccination and immunization, right? So in the healthcare sector, thanks to vaccination, the existence of vaccines and immunization, to immunize, Thanks to vaccination, immunization, lives are saved. So lives are saved thanks to now they're making water treatment facilities, water treatment and sewage treatment facilities. Sewage is that dirty thing that goes from our washrooms and everything and all that. It goes. There are sewage treatment facilities, water treatment facilities that help make produce clean drinking water. So there are water treatment facilities and plant facilities. Water purification. Say water purification plants to purify. Purify water. With an I, not an E. Why? You can also purify your soul. To make something pure, right? Pure. To make something pure, purify. So water purification. They take water's impurities. Impurities. So water as it is in nature, not in nature, but usually it is, thanks to technology, usually, we have many human waste and technological waste. You know technological waste? Waste. So technological waste, such as, for example, radioactive waste. What has waste done to our water in the world? What is the world? Has made it not clean. Has done what? Uncleaned it. Has Saki? All the waste that we produce in our factories has done what to the water? Polluted or contaminated our water resources. So thanks to all the pollution, our water.
Can you use vital for like emphasis?
What?
I lose my voice. Can you use vital
Vital.
for emphasis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even if you don't need it for live.
Sure. For living.
Living.
For life. That's true. Yes. You say something is vital, it means it's necessary. Not necessarily for living, but it's used for emphasis. This is vital. If you want to take IELTS, these words are vital. I'm emphasizing. These words are essential, necessary. So, water is polluted. It's a vicious cycle. So basically, technology, thanks to technology. Now, waste that goes into the water that we consume to live is polluted thanks to the technological byproducts, such as technological waste, industrial waste. You know industrial waste? We actually have industrial waste, not technological waste. Industrial waste. Industrial waste is all the things that factories do not need when they want to produce something and it's produced, the byproducts. And they have to get rid of them They should dispose of them. So they have some kind of a disposal system to get rid of all the waste. But what do we do with the waste? Where does it go? Sometimes we bury it under the ground. It's called landfill. And what does it do? It pollutes the soil, it pollutes the environment, it pollutes underground water supplies, and it pollutes a large body of underground water supplies, and actually our water supplies. Then we have to make certain plants called water purification plants to purify that water, to help it get rid of its impurities, to filter water, to make it clean and potable, clean drinking water, to come up with clean drinking water. And many parts of the world are deprived of this. They don't have access to clean drinking water. So thank you for that. Technology has also done that. Technology has made this possible. Some vital technologies, especially when it comes to healthcare. So in healthcare, for example, the life support machine. What's the life support machine? Those people who are in vegetative state, and Sabrina can explain, they'll be on life support, right? Sabrina, is life support machine, is it vital?
Yeah.
If somebody say he is on life support. Have you seen it in the movies? The person is like this. They're everything in his nose and his ears and everything, and there's a machine, dip, 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 dip. Yeah? There's drips going into his blood. That's life support. And then the nurse comes and the person comes to life. Whenever the nurse comes, it's like dip, 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 dip. The nurse leaves it. Dip. Okay. That's me in ICU, intensive care unit. It's like the nurse is going. Dip, 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 dip. All right. So vital for life. So life support. That is vital for life, right? So technology is sometimes vital for existence, for living. Examples in healthcare. From vaccination and immunization against life-threatening diseases and terminal diseases, fatal diseases, to the life support machine, to all the equipment that are used for surgery in the operating room.
Got a question.
Yes.
Right, you always say against. In school, I was always told, yeah, don't you ever say against. Always say against. Like because you say again, but and so you will probably also say against. But how would you say it? Would you say again is pronounced again, but against is actually pronounced against?
Do you have a house mother?
No.
Okay. I would say try it on people out there on the street and see what they say. They say like, what? Huh? Okay. Who was the douchebag? No. That's Germans, right? Okay. So, no, it's against. We don't have against. If you ever say that, it's like people say like, what?
Okay.
Well, we do have again, but against.
Okay, so
Yeah, yes.
you should never say again.
No. Simply because we say again, we shouldn't say against. Like we have dangerous, another example. We have danger, but dangerous. So we say danger, but dangerous.